Good morning, gentlemen. I'm back, and this time the authors are not angry. They are pretty happy, like I am. So, gentlemen, I'm going to talk of Sheikh Hasina and the river of no return. That's what's happened with her. I think she'll be lucky if she can come back to Bangladesh and become the ruler again. The chances are pretty remote that it's going to happen because she is facing some very serious charges. उसके अगेंस्ट बहुत से सीरियस चार्जेस हैं और अब एक यूनाइटेड नेशंस की कमीशन जा रही है बांग्लादेश में टू चेक अप and verify about the atrocities and the killings which may have taken place there. And this is going to be something which is going to happen after the 71 war. That time also, the United States, the United Nations had sent a commission to investigate the war crimes committed by the Pakistan Army. They've all been documented. And the Pakistan Army can't deny any damn thing. Anyway, gentlemen, that's past and gone. Now is Bangladesh again. And this time, Sheikh Hasina had been in power for 15 years. That's a long time. And in those 15 years, everybody talks that she had a strategic relationship with India. I don't think so. There's no relationship. Because she was playing China against India, number one. Number two, her father, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, had gone and become a member of the OIC, the Islamic State Council. And every year when the Islamic State Council was condemning India on Kashmir, Bangladesh was a signatory to it. So a country who's your friend doesn't go around condemning you in an international forum. And at the same time, she's expecting help from India because she ran away and came to India, landed at the Hindan Air Base, and thanks to the Indian government, she's been given good cover. In fact, she was escorted by Indian fighter planes till she landed at the Hindan base. Gentlemen, there's a lot of talk going around. America has done it, so and so has done it, this thing has done it. Let's be very frank that no country, whether America or any other country or China, can engineer anything in another country unless the people there want it. And there is a modicum of support. That means a substantial number of people support whatever the enemy would be planning. And if the United States had planned it, they could have, may not have, we don't know, but there was tremendous support against Hasina. It is not without reason that lakhs of crowds get together and start murdering and pillaging and raping. Now, point to be noted is Bangladesh went on the path of Islamization when Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the so-called father of Bangladesh, applied to the OIC to become a member. I think that was in 74 or something like that. And he had said Bangladesh would be a secular country and a secular constitution, but yet he went and joined the Islamic States. I think people seem to forget about this. ये बातें भूल जाते हैं, they don't talk about them. इसके बारे में मत बोलो. अरे भाई, what we should talk about? We have to bring the truth. Truth तो सामने लाना है. And this is the truth. Bangladesh was on the path of Islamization from the time of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. And he paid the price for trying to pander to Islamic sentiments by being shot dead. Can you imagine? His entire family, I think about 17, 18 people were wiped out, and only his two daughters who were away out of Bangladesh. I think Sheikh Hasina was in Delhi. Her two sons, her children were studying in modern school in Delhi. They survived. The rest of the family was wiped out. But history has its own way of looking at things, and Sheikh Hasina came back to Bangladesh, took charge of the Awami Party, which was the party her father had founded, and then started going forward. And she displaced Begum Zia, who was a year earlier, and now that lady was in jail for 17 years, house arrest, and she's been released now. But these 15 years, in which the last 15 years Sheikh Hasina is in power, I think she became an autocrat. And as I've said in my earlier video, she had lost touch with reality. And the reality is that she had to counter the extremism of the Jamaat, the political party, and the hardline mullahs, who still were nostalgic of the time they had with Pakistan as a union. They forgot about the fact that the Pakistani army left about 200,000 Bengali girls, Muslim girls, most of them, pregnant. This was confirmed, I think, by the UN report. It's a very sad occurrence, that Bangladesh, despite all this, still has a hangover of Pakistan and the Islamization drive. See, America is a country which looks after its own interests, and they'll go to any extent to see that they get what they want. So there is a possibility that the Americans could have lit the match that started the agitation against Sheikh Hasina because they were not happy with her. She was hobnobbing with China till she got a sock on the nose. And the last visit to China, she went and asked for $3 to $4 billion. Chinese gave her $100 million. That's all in place of 3 to 4 billion she was asking. And that result was she had to break a trip from China and get back. And can't be forgotten that she had given submarine base, I think, to Bangladesh, to China as well. And they were buying attack submarines from China. What for? Against whom? So Bangladesh was on a path which can lead to only one end, and that is doom, whether it was Sheikh Hasina or anybody else. Sheikh Hasina, of course, was keeping herself, wanted perpetual power, something like Mao Zedong, but then for that you've got to be at least endear yourself to the people. I don't think the people were happy with her at all. And the anger can be taken out that moment this mass agitation started. The statues of the Banga Bandhu, that is Mujibur Rahman, were all pulled down and all that, and the Hindus were attacked because the Hindus represent the secular face of Bangladesh. They don't want secularism there. And the India cultural center, Indira Gandhi Cultural Center, has been gutted to flames. And yet, India is considering Sheikh Hasina as a friend. I don't think she's a friend. She's come to India, and now, as per my reports, she's unable to go to America or England, and she's looking for asylum. And there is talk that she'll go back. I don't think it's going to be easy because now the government in power there is headed by a Nobel laureate who is a pro-American out and out, had been given the American Freedom Medal as well. And this man, I don't think he'll allow Sheikh Hasina to come back. In this vein, I'll tell you, there was an interview given by Justice Sriram, who was the only Hindu occupying a very senior position in the Bangladesh hierarchy. He was the Chief Justice of the Bangladesh Supreme Court. But then he gave one decision which went against Hasina, and that decision was basically concerning the fact that the legislature wanted the right to impeach and throw out judges who were accused of corruption or something like that. So he said no, and net result is he had about 100 charges slapped against him, and he was told, I believe, by the intelligence agencies, the Pakistan intelligence, that you'll get killed, you better leave, and he left. And now I think he had gone initially to Australia, and now he's in Canada. And he's written a book in which he has catalogued that Sheikh Hasina was not a Democrat or anything like that. She was an autocrat person, and he's mentioned in his book that she had a secret interrogation facility called the Aina Ghar. Now, Aina Ghar kya hota hai? Aina Ghar means mirror. Aina means a mirror. That means It was a prison in which you could not see anybody other than yourself in the mirror, that's all. And it was the interrogation center of the Pakistan Army, the special forces, where the enemies of Sheikh Hasina were incarcerated and interrogated. So it's not a good thing. And many people disappeared, got killed, and she is being held responsible also for the 300 odd students who were killed when they were agitating, initially against the reservation. Now, the reservation was something which was absolutely avoidable. 56% of the jobs in a country where there are no jobs were being reserved for a certain class of people. That included 30% jobs for the descendants of the men who fought against the Pakistanis in the 71 war, that is the independence struggle. And hardly any vacancies were left. 10% were there for the backward minorities, backward provinces, 5% for the minorities, 1% for the handicapped, and 10% for women. So the vacancy left 44. The initial agitation was against that, and that is the time when the police went into action and about 300 students were shot dead. But that was just a spark. You can't put a popular uprising down because now the Jamaat jumped into the fray and they began a mass killing of some Hindus and things like that. I think 200 were killed, and then the Jamaat was banned by Sheikh Hasina. Now she was relying on the army because the police had become ineffective. And then she asked the army to take action against the violent crowds which were moving in Bangladesh. I think lakhs of them were moving around. And the army, I think, was not up to the task. I think no army will fire on its own people, on its own crowd. And so Sheikh Hasina was given 45 minutes to quit and she left. And now I think she is what is called in the point of no return. That is the river of no return. I don't think she can go back. And now she is looking for refuge somewhere. How will she go back? That is the crucial point. The Awami League, which is her party, is disorganized. They are bewildered. They don't know what's happening. Their own leaders run away. As per my latest reports, I think she may get some sort of residential permit or something in the UAE and stay in Dubai. There is a possibility of that. But that will be the end. Because if the UN Commission finds out that she's committed war crimes and she's tied up for those 300 deaths of the students, it's going to be mighty tricky for her. As it is, the Bangladesh Bar Association has sent a request to the Indian government to hand her over to face trial for murder in Bangladesh. I don't think the Indian government is going to hand over to her. And the saving grace now is that UAE probably will give her a shelter. Because earlier she was thinking she would go to England, and England's been dragging their feet. They don't want to do it. She had thought of probably Finland, but Finland now a member of the EU and the NATO, so he's not going to give. So it's a gang up. And of course, the Americans were pretty pleased that Hasina is removed, but they would not be happy at what happened after that. Though they put their own man in power. So, gentlemen, what could be the American plan? It's very simple. They could think of a greater Bengal, incorporate portions of Indian Bengal with Bangladesh, and bifurcate Bangladesh, make it into a state which will be pro-American by combining it with some of the areas in the Indian Northeast which are Christian. And this could be the American plan. Don't underestimate it. Sheikh Hasina probably knew about it. She was assisting all this. But that is the reason the Americans decided that she must go, and now she's been sent home. I would say went home is because Bangladesh was never going to accept her, which is her home. So, gentlemen, it's a very delicate situation. I don't think Pakistan has much to do there other than sentiments. There are a lot of sentiments in favor of Pakistan in erstwhile East Pakistan, that is Bangladesh, and India will always be a backstarter. So, gentlemen, let's be very clear about one thing. Islam cannot mix with anybody, least of all with Hinduism. And it was a fallacy to think that Sheikh Hasina was a strategic partner of India. As I just mentioned, Bangladesh was along with the OIC when it went and condemned India every time, on the issue of Kashmir. I don't think they were really happy with India that much. Sheikh Hasina may have personally have some liking because she spent time in Delhi. Her children studied in modern school, but she was playing the China card also. And she was trying to defy the Americans for nothing. I didn't understand what was the reason to defy the Americans. Because there's an old saying, अगर पानी में रहना है तो मगरमच्छ के साथ वैर करके नहीं रहना. You cannot live in the water by not being friendly with the alligator. So that is the problem. So, gentlemen, I hope Sheikh Hasina is not extradited to Bangladesh for trial. And I hope this thing with the UAE goes through. But it's definitely the river of no return for her. And I will say goodbye now and God bless. If you like my video, please share it with your friends and come back again. Don't forget to press the bell icon so that I can get more of my videos to you. In the meanwhile, I'll say goodbye and God bless. Take care.